So what used to happen in Japan is they didn't really eat salmon at all. And what used to happen is by the time sushi used to be made, salmon lost its consistency and had those harmful things. So Japanese never saw salmon as a good topic. But during the 1980s, Norway had a surplus of salmon production. And they had like a very huge question in their hands. Where do we sell this salmon right now? They have this whole freezers that they had developed. They kept the salmon fresh for a longer time. But they had a question because Europe doesn't eat that much of fish and what to do with so much. They're like, hey, it could be a good sushi ingredient.
Hello and welcome to Rabbittholes, a show with 6 questions, 2 nerds, 1 word, and countless stories. In each episode, Devin and I challenge each other to bring 6 mind-blowing stories, all centering around one word. And the word for this episode is exchange.
As Devin mentioned, This is episode 10 with the prompt exchange. Yeah, let's exchange some questions today, Devin. Starting with the first one. What do you choose, heads or tails?
I'll say tails.
All right, it is tails. 2 in a row.
Cool. I think I'm getting. Yeah, I am better than Rohit Sharma for sure. So I will say that again. I'll put you under the spotlight, and I'll say you take the. You share your set first, and I'll attempt it first. So
Awesome.
let's go with your question 1 of today's episode.
Cool. That sounds good. Let's exchange some questions today, Devin. Welcome to episode 10, viewers. Again, like I was saying, it feels surreal. Almost 62 questions in. I think for me, at least, I can speak for myself. It has evolved to a whole different experience. Like I'm reading up a lot more because of this. I am uncovering a lot more secrets about the world because of this. And in spirit of that, that is the first question that I want to bring to you, Devin. So from the prompt exchange, I went to an exchange of cultures. The first thing that popped into my mind, and that led me down to what different cultures lead to different dishes. Like when two cultures exchange their cuisines, what different dishes can come up with. In that spirit, these are 4 different dishes that you have to answer here. I've given like a 1-line description of each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, no part points or anything here, but we can go prompt by prompt. So the first one, what do you want to do? Do you want to like read everything at once and do it, or do you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4? I leave that up to you.
Let's go sequentially. I think that'll be interesting. And also, first of all, like a lovely setup. I am fascinated with how you brought this to the table, literally, with the prompt exchange. Very cool. Let's go.
Yes. For the viewers, I think I would mostly say that my brain defaults to food whenever any prompt comes up. So yeah, this is one such fascinating thing. But again, there's so many dishes in the world that have come across because of cross-cultural pollination. So the first one is a Vietnamese and a French fusion. This is a sandwich that is born from the French occupation of Vietnam. So basically, the story goes that there were very fresh ingredients in Vietnam, which the local residents there just put them in a French baguette because the French locals love to eat that. And now it's just like a street food sensation worldwide. So what is the name of this sandwich I'm looking for?
Is it something bun or ban or something?
You're
something
close.
like that?
You're close. You're very close.
I think it's ban. Oh man.
Yeah. So the first word, it's a 2-word thing. The first word is ban. BAHN.
Yeah,
So
ban.
Can you
Also
recollect
fits the
anything?
etymology.
Correct.
Banh mi.
Banh mi. Yes, banh mi is the first
Nice.
one. Yeah, a
Awesome.
classic Vietnamese invention right now. Yeah, it's a French-inspired French food. Plays a huge role into there. I'll move to the second one, which is closer to home, coming from Goa, from a Portuguese descent. They wanted to literally eat what they ate in Portugal, but couldn't find the recipe or the exact ingredients there. So they replaced a couple of things here and there. The dish back in Portugal was called carne de vinha alos, which means meat marinated in wine and garlic. So what dish came out of this?
All right. First of all, I am happy that I got banh mi, and because I got it so late and with such underconfidence. I think they should ban me from quizzing, especially food quizzing.
I cannot.
Okay. Uh, but second one, I think I know this. This is, I think, Vindaloo.
Yay! Spot on.
Yes. And yes. And I always, I mean, not I, but a lot of people always think there are alus in it. But yeah, that's a common misconception.
Yes, you can make it with any vegetable, to be honest. The curry is what's the main selling point here. But obviously, because it
Yeah.
came from Portugal, they love to eat it with meat generally, lamb meat or like even, what do you call it? Shrimps. Vindaloo is very famous. Vegetable Vindaloo is also
Yep.
up there. But yes, if you see the name of the previous dish, Carne de Vinha de Alhos, which is Vindaloo right there in the framing of the question itself. So great crack there. The third one is some sort of a curiosity to me because this is a Japanese classic, which actually they have inherited from Chinese cultures. It's a Japanese classic right now with rice on the outside, crafted with American ingredients in an American city. So the name of this dish gets the name from an American city, which is basically like a reimagining of traditional classic in a modern version. Can you think of any?
I can think of Japanese classic dishes with rice. I mean, is it sushi or sashimi? And then
Okay.
it is prefixed with an American city name.
Yes, yes, you're thinking on the right lines.
Okay, so let's say, okay, now it's, I don't know how many cities are there in the US, but uh, let me take a shot. New York sushi.
Okay. It's a type of sushi, so that's the spot on thing that you've gotten it here. It has the name
Okay.
of an American city. That's the second clue. The other clue that I could give you is that it has replaced the traditional Japanese ingredients, which is like a fish and the salmon roe and stuff like that, with classical American ingredients like cream cheese or avocados and stuff like that. So typically on the menus you would see this like dash roll as the name of this dish, the name of this sushi. Just I think it's a free for all now. Take a shot at the city, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, okay. California?
Yay! It's a California roll.
Is it?
Yes. you
My
you
God.
really should take a lottery ticket since the last episode. It's too good.
I mean, my logical guesses are, I don't know, they're not getting me as many points as my shot in the dark guesses. So yeah, I'm happy.
Awesome. So yes, California roll, which is an inversion of the sushi trope. So sushi typically has the topping on top of the rice, but in a California roll, you would find the toppings inside the rice. So that's how they inverted the Japanese trope. But again, amazing cross-cultural pollination going on here. For the fourth one, something that traveled from China to Persia in the first place and then came to India via the Dutch, and its name literally means the bread of Cathay. It's like a short bread version that we get in India. So what am I talking about? Ending the four-course meal with a sweet treat at the end.
Nice, very nice. Okay, from China to Persia to Surat. Wow, okay.
Yes.
I'm sure Kathiawadi and all doesn't come from Cathay. This short and sweet cookie. Oh, cookie. Okay. Oh, naan katai. Oh, is it naan katai? Naan is bread
Yay!
and cut. Oh, such a beautiful.
Four for
Wow.
four. What a great round of quizzing we had here.
Nice.
4 for 4, great working out from the questions. It is naan khatai. So for the viewers out there, you see the shortbread versions of biscuits that we have very famously in India. Again, coming from Dutch heritage, Dutch short bread recipe that made all the way to Surat of all places in India, and now it's popular everywhere. So what a brilliant crack, Devin. On all four, to be honest.
Thank you, thank you. And again, I mean, aside of Windloo, probably I had no clue about the others. The first and the fourth one, I mean, amazingly worded questions, so that I can work it out from the bread and Cathay. You know, I didn't know that. I mean, I've had naan katai so many times, but didn't know it comes literally from the naan bread and Cathay's katai. And oh
Absolutely.
yeah, California sushi was a absolute, you know, shot in the dark. So yeah, good to have a full house and beautiful start to the question and very enticing images as well.
Absolutely, and especially this late in the night. I mean, I am sure craving something to munch on right now. But the reason I put these four is there's also very something specific. So I love bread, so that led me to sandwiches. I love sweets, that led me to naan khatai, especially eating with chai. Um, Recently gotten a taste of Goan food, so that led me to Vindaloo. But for sushi, especially any kind of sushi, I particularly am not a big fan of sushi. Hot take. I don't think it deserves the hype it gets around the world, especially at that price point. But one interesting thing that I found out, like a sort of a question within a question, let me ask you here. Do you know, Devin, what are the top five ingredients or toppings that you like globally are eaten with sushi? That doesn't mean wasabi. Wasabi is a dip, or the soy sauce is a dip.
That was going to be my first
Yeah,
guess.
I understood from the framing that I put out, but the topping, like what do you put on the rice?
Sesame?
No, that is a
No.
garnish.
Okay.
So what sushi basically is that salted rice made into a bowl with fixed with seaweed. That is one ingredient, and the topping is a main meat portion or like a avocado portion, something of that sort. So that big one, just off the top of your head, anything. It's not like a
I
deep
mean,
cut.
I think salmon is going to be one if it's
Yes, salmon
salmon
is the
is
number one.
yeah. Then avocado probably.
Yeah, avocado is in the top 10.
Okay. Then
Yeah, there's other type of fishes at 2, 3, 4.
okay. So I'm gonna say mackerel. I don't know.
It's
No.
there, but not that eaten. It's
Okay.
tuna at number 2. So tuna.
Tuna.
Then it is ebi tempura. Ebi is shrimp, and then all the avocados and stuff goes. But the most interesting thing that I read on for this particular thing is number one is salmon sushi globally. Right, it outstrips the sales of the number two sushi by quite a lot, because tuna, you need to have it fresh and you need to capture it that day and you have to eat it very meticulously. But salmon is something that you can preserve fresh, and then you can keep it, store it for a longer time. It retains its texture for a longer time, apparently. So, but the interesting thing is, till 1980s, there was no salmon sushi that ever got sold. But
Okay.
what actually happened, it's something very interesting. I'm just going to pull out my notes so I don't miss out on the dates. So basically, this is called the Project Japan by a country called Norway. So what used to happen in Japan is they didn't really eat salmon at all, because salmon has a reputation of having parasites if not prepared well or not caught fresh. And what used to happen is, by the time sushi used to be made, salmon lost its consistency and had those harmful things. So Japanese never saw salmon as a good topic. But during the 1980s, Norway had a surplus of salmon production, and they had like a very huge question in their hands: where do we sell this salmon right now? Right? They have this whole freezers that they had developed. They kept the salmon fresh for a longer time, but they had a question. Because Europe doesn't eat that much of fish, and what to do with so much? They're like, hey, it could be a good sushi ingredient, and that's how a decade long Project Japan came into place. It was known as Project Japan later on, but it literally started by them pulling chefs out of Japan to come taste salmon as a standalone thing. Then they started educating the masses in Japan. Okay, you can transport this fish all the way to Japan, then you can eat it there, you can prepare it there. This is how we capture it. This is how there are no parasites in it. And that is how the first instances of salmon sushi came into being. And once the world got a taste to it, and once the world gotten accustomed to it not having parasites, and now look where it is. It's literally the number one topping in the world.
Insane. Wow, what a story. I mean, they literally introduced a lifestyle change and, made it like a habit. And then, now it's obviously the number one
Absolutely.
variant in sushi. Wow, crazy.
Absolutely.
Such
And
a
the
great piece of trivia.
fascinating marketing here is that they didn't literally say, okay, we have a better ingredient. They said, your ingredients are great, but you can also have this thing, or, we'll just introduce you to a different texture, a different taste. And They didn't do it overnight. They did it over a period of what, 15, 20 years. And then it just took off. And because of the ready availability of salmon, and as opposed to the number two place, which is tuna is more difficult to catch and much more expensive. Salmon just skyrocketed as the number one sushi topping, and that blew my mind.
Super, super fact. Wow. I mean, great TIL. I had no clue and loved hearing about it. Very cool.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this is evading me, but I read or I saw a reel of this some days back or something where some brand wanted to launch in Japan, and obviously some strategy account or someone told them that, hey, like Japanese people don't eat it this way. So you literally need to develop their habit or develop a lifestyle that they follow, and then you introduce your product.
Right.
I think it was Nescafe. I think it was Nescafe, or it was one of the coffee brands, I think.
Uh, okay.
So the idea was that they have tea and don't have coffee, something like that. We should read it up, but yeah. So
Nice.
I think there must be many stories like this where brands, kind of develop a habit into people so that they consume their product. What a beautiful story.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was my entire rabbit hole there. So over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, from exchange to Culinary Exchange. Here's your question
Cool.
one on exchange.
Yeah, let's go.
So, this is a map of something uh, very, very important in the history of the world. So it says the dash dash.
Mhm.
There are two blanks, one on the top and the bottom. Uh, Simple question. You need to tell me what have I blanked out in the map. Basically, you can see there is a lot of trade happening. So before
Right.
giving any further clues, I want you to maybe take a shot and tell me what this is, and then we can, take a look at the clues if need be.
Okay. I think just a basic guess I'll take here. Are these um is one the silk route and the other the spice route?
Oh, that's a great guess. You're right on I mean, you're thinking on the right lines. Answer is basically something like a silk route or, you know, what you said, spice route.
Hmm?
However, this is just one entity. This is not, there are not two entities.
Okay.
This is like
Acha. Okay.
uh, one entity. So it's called that. So it's just one trade term, one trade route, if I may. And you can see
Okay.
from the Americas, things are going to Asia and vice versa. So
Okay.
very
Okay.
important
Okay. Okay.
events.
I have another guess.
Yeah, go on.
I do have another guess. But before taking that guess, I'd like to point out how sneakily from Asia we have malaria, smallpox, just traveling there. But no diseases from
Yeah, I mean along.
North America.
Yeah,
That's fun.
yeah. Along with some coffee beans, we can also give you some smallpox. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
please have.
Like two for one. Okay, so because my answer is because there is an Atlantic Ocean in between, is it the transatlantic trade route?
Again, a very good guess, but not the transatlantic trade. Uh,
Okay,
I'll give you one clue. The second word is basically exchange. So it's called the dash exchange, and that is how it fits into the theme of the quiz. You need to tell me what's the word on the top. So basically, from the Americas, we got a lot of food, tomatoes, chili, beans, vanilla, and what we sent out was coffee beans, sugarcane, stock, very importantly, cows, sheep, and of course, a lot of diseases. So take a shot.
it's
Do you
interesting
want a
because
hint?
there's not one single category that fits it all. I'm just thinking on those lines. Is it something like the First World Exchange or something?
Good guess, not first world exchange, but here worlds are involved. So on the left is the Americas, which is the new world, and on the right is Europe and Asia and Africa, which is like the old world. So in that sense, you're right. It's the worlds, but not the first world exchange. It's old world and new world, but it's called something. Uh, if you want a hint, I can give you.
Yeah, I like a hint.
Yeah. So this word is basically it's named after someone, and this someone, I don't want to give away hint, so I will resist from saying that. But I will say a
Okay.
very very important person in the history of the world, and who also fits in the context of this whole scenario.
Interesting. Is it What, Columbus Exchange?
Is that your final guess? Because you're
Yeah.
absolutely spot on. Very well done. This is the Columbian
Nice.
Exchange named after Christopher
Oh,
Columbus. Well done. Super stuff.
nice.
Well done. So
Wow, did
yeah,
not know.
let me go into the rabbit hole now. But before that, as you can see, this is a quick depiction of what happened. So over a period of time from the Americas, that is the New World, we got a lot of exotic fruits and vegetables like vanilla, beans, pineapple,
Nice.
also, symbol for royalty, turkey, pumpkin, and whereas all, uh, things that were kind of basic in that sense, along with some diseases, uh, and also some honeybees. So bananas, onions, grapes, coffee beans, citrus fruits, uh, cattle and sheep and grains and wheat, all those, bare bones things, we've kind of shift or transferred to the new world, that's the Americas. So yeah, first of all, well done. This is the Columbian Exchange. This is also known as the Columbian Interchange, of course, named after Christopher Columbus, the great explorer of sorts. A lot of people debate that. Let's not get into it. But yeah, what happened was basically transfer of plants, animals, diseases, technology between the old world, that is the world that consists of Europe, Asia, and Africa. That's called the old world. And the new world is basically the Americas. That's how the terminology was. This all happened in 1492. Around that area. It started from 1492, let's say that. So Christopher Columbus started his voyages from 1492. Literally, those four voyages fundamentally shaped how we eat, what we dress up, what we drink, what we consume. It is like that. Like if his voyages wouldn't have been there, the local food, the local people, the local livestock would have stayed in that same place, which means there would have been probably no cows in USA, and we would never
Yeah.
be probably able to consume something like a pumpkin or avocado. So it's basically that because this exchange was so significant, hence the cross culture thing happened and people were able to shift and lifestyle and cultures were able to shift and transform, and other people could get a sense of it, because otherwise we would all just be stuck in our local thing. So it's a very important thing in history. The etymology, like why it's called the Columbian Exchange, is also fun. While we have another etymology round later, but this is a sneak peek. So this was basically coined from a 1972 book by Alfred W. Crosby. So it's called the Columbian Exchange, a biological and cultural consequence of 1492. That's the name of the book. Like it's so that year 1492 is
Wow.
so important in the development and overall cross culture progress of the world. So it's a great book, and that's where the Columbian Exchange comes from. Then of course I dived into who was Christopher Columbus, what did he do, what all was his world about. So basically, while we know that he was an Italian, he also wrote and spoke Spanish a lot. So his basically in Italian his name was Cristoforo Colombo, or in Spanish it was Cristobal Colon. So pardon my Spanish, but that's what was he was called. We know that he had those three famous boats or ships, and we know that the names were Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. However, those were not the real names; they were just nicknames. Nina actually was the nickname, and Santa Clara was the main name of that ship. But yeah, these were the famous names that we usually read about in school. He did four journeys or four voyages to the New World, which is basically Americas and Caribbean island and Bahamas and most of Central or South America. He actually never reached to the mainland North America. So that's again a misnomer. He never stepped foot in North America. Also, he never stepped foot in Asia, but that is the reason because of his huge miscalculation. So basically, he miscalculated Earth's circumference and incorrectly measured the number of miles, right? So he thought that Asia could be attainable or it could be reached quickly from Spain. And due to this miscalculation, he also convinced that, okay, by sea, and he convinced this to the Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand that time, that, hey, please do fund me. By sea, I can reach Asia uh, very fast, very quickly, and I can trade. But due to the miscalculation of almost 25% error was there in this calculation, he could never reach Asia and he always landed up in the Americas. Yeah, those were his, fun voyages that happened, and because of him, I think, or his voyages, a lot of cross-cultural progress has happened overall. One last thing I read about, and this is this is so fascinating, is something called Egg of Columbus. Do you know what that is?
I have vaguely heard of this somewhere, but please enlighten me.
Yeah. So basically, it's a phrase that means a seemingly impossible task that suddenly becomes easy to understand and comprehend once it is done or in the hindsight.
Interesting.
That's what it means. So basically, what happens is this is again credited to Columbus that he was sitting around during one of his voyages with his staff and all, and he had an egg, and he asked people to make it stand on its head or tip, and of course, no one was able to do that. And, it was falling and rolling over and all that. What he did, he said, okay, let me show you. He just like broke the tip and hatched it a little bit and made it stand. And then he said, see, voila, it's possible.
My God.
I don't know, but how much if I would have cursed him or applauded him if I was one of his staff members.
This
But
dude
that's
is
where, yeah,
this dude
that's
is
where
the
the egg
first
of
IM
Columbus
teacher.
of Columbus comes from. That's the phrase we use if something you're seeing, something seems like a daunting task, but when you see someone do it or when you actually do it, it seems like, hey, it's easy, doable. So that was my rabbit hole I got into,
Nice.
from Columbian Exchange to Columbus to Egg of Columbus.
Yeah, interesting that both of our questions were some cross-country
I was
exchanges.
when I saw the first some phrases in your question, like the first couple of seconds, I'm like, okay, is this an overlap? Because I can see two, three things coming together, and then okay, safe to say that it was
Yeah,
not.
that's awesome. Like that's how we cover the breadth and the depth of it all. So amazing. Like did not know about all of these things. Like when we think about like all the trade routes and everything, the first, like I said, silk route and the spice route, whatever comes in your mind. And but lovely to know that like we are literally commemorating someone who has contributed so much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, imagine without the Columbian Exchange, we would not be having the world as it is now. It's as
Yeah, we
simple as
won't have potatoes. That's the weirdest
that.
thing.
Yeah,
Or corn, for that
true,
matter. I heard that all the Mexican cuisine won't exist if Columbus didn't trade. So that's insane.
true, true.
Cool. Awesome. I'll move to my second question if you're ready for it.
Yes, let's go.
So, second question coming from to you is a story about something called as an epistolary novel. So what an epistolary novel is basically it is a writing style which two people have exchanged letters or newspaper clippings or whatever in the story, and that's how the book tells its entire story. So there's been too many epistolary novels that exist in the world right now. I'm talking about one famous novel that's been written like in this style, which has basically revolutionized Gothic horror. So I want you to identify this basic book that I'm talking about based on these clues. So the first clue is this painting that I've given you, very famous painting this is. The second one is this, and third one is this. So from these three clues, identify this novel that I'm talking about.
So amazed, and I don't know, every time your questions, like the content is top notch, but the presentation, like those images and the emboldening of the hints and putting a hint, it's so beautifully done. So,
Thank you.
and so
Thank you.
intriguing, I think, like a proper setup. So let me dive into this if I can uncover something. So my first thought was when you said that the story entirely is written with two people exchanging letters.
Yes.
The first name that sprung to my mind was The Prestige. Basically, where Christopher Nolan's movie is also there, but it's also based off of a book where those guys uh, exchange letters or are basically performing things via letters. So is it that?
No, it's not the Prestige. Again, it's a horror gothic novel.
Oh, horror.
I mean, Prestige is horror in its own way. I can say that, but not this.
Oh, then maybe I feel, is this like Bram Stoker's Dracula?
What a brilliant crack! Oh my god, I didn't even need to head
Wow.
to the hints.
Wow.
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 No, no, I need you to tell me how did you work that out?
I'll tell you one thing.
Huh,
I know that, I mean, I know one or two Gothic novels. I think Dracula is one of them. That is one.
okay.
Second is I know that it was in somewhere in 1890s. That is two. And I also know that that character is based off of some king or some painting or something like some character. So that's where the painting comes. I don't know how Jack the Ripper or that lady fits. But yeah, 1890s Gothic novel probably pointed me to that, I think.
Phew, phew. Brilliant. Like I
Wow, feels so good.
honestly thought that while framing this might be like a tough question because the framing is a little vague and stuff like that. But oof, this feels too good that you could crack into this. But yes, amazing. This is Bram Stoker's Dracula, one of the finest examples of how one book can literally define an entire genre. And this is, of course, the adaptation of Dracula, which was done by Francis Ford Coppola. Shout out to our last episode when we spoke about Apocalypse Now and the Australian engineer who worked on it as well.
Yeah. But Bob Christo.
Bob
Yeah.
Christo, yes. But yes, so I'll just walk you through the clues here. So this woman is Winona Ryder. You might know her from Stranger Things. She got famous again, but she was at her height back in 1990s when this movie was made by Francis Ford Coppola. She's the leading lady of the Dracula adaptation. So that was a big hint. A story goes that Francis Ford Coppola loves Bram Stoker's Dracula so much that this is the painting they used in the movie itself to depict Dracula's castle and his like lair, if for the lack of a better word. This painting is based on another famous painting. Like I'm not remembering the name right now, but I'll put it up on the screen. But the story is that to make Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola had to stake one of his houses, and the movie made just enough money so that he can deleverage his house again. So this painting hangs to this day in their house. So that is
Wow.
the painting that still hangs in the Coppola household. And when Bram Stoker wrote Dracula just 2 months ago, the news of Jack the Ripper had started gripping the world based on newspaper clippings and taking cues from those articles that were being published in the paper. That's the exact style how Bram Stoker started writing Dracula. So that's the Jack the Ripper clue.
Wow.
Those were the three hints that I gave here. And wow,
Super.
beautiful.
Hey, one thing is it, I mean, just looking at the painting, of course, we can verify it later, but looking at the painting, is it that Salvatore Mundi painting
No. So
that
this is
Jesus Christ is holding the.
yeah. I know what you're talking about, but this painting's title is like the self-portrait of somebody. It's like a self-portrait of an
Okay.
archduke or something. That's where they took the
Oh,
inspiration from and stuff. So
Yes,
that's
yes,
not
yes.
the Salvatore Mundi is the one for Jesus Christ, right? But this is not the
Correct,
same
correct,
one,
yes.
if I'm not wrong.
And Sir Christopher Lee was playing Count Dracula, right? In this, I
Uh,
think so.
Not Christopher Lee. It is okay. I'm gonna quickly check because
Let's check because I
if
think I have something telling me he was playing that. But yeah, that's what quizzing
I
does,
think it's
man. I mean,
Gary
I have not read
Oldman.
one word. Okay.
Wait. I'll confirm.
Yeah, let's confirm.
Yeah, Count
To
Dracula is
quench our
Gary
curiosity.
Oldman. Yeah.
Then is Christopher Lee also Count Dracula?
He might be in some version, but yeah, Count
Yeah,
Dracula here is
he's
Gary
in the
Oldman.
1970 version. Oh yeah. He's in the
Oh,
1970 movie. Yeah. That's where I remember it from. I mean, that's
interesting.
where I remember reading about. Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't
Right.
know this. Gary Oldman also played Count Dracula. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
this is the 1992 version for those who are fact checking with us.
Oh,
But yeah, this movie is
wow.
literally called Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the book it also is called Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
But again, this book, such an amazing piece of human history, such interesting things that this book has achieved. I'm just going to go through some of them that I have read.
Yeah.
Again, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and back then Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder were at the top, and he wanted both Johnny Depp and Winona in the movie. Wasn't possible, but I'll come back to the book here because do you know that the origin story for both Dracula and Frankenstein seems to come from the same place? So
Oh,
what this?
okay.
Yeah, go on.
The Mount, not not Vesuvius, some eruption that happened.
Not in that sense. So okay, I'll tell you what the story goes like. So Lord Byron from Europe, that back in the day, the Count from Europe, I was bored one day, and on the bank of the Lake Geneva, he just sat with a couple of his friends and said, "Hey, in a fortnight, why don't you give me an idea for a horror novel?" That's it. That's when his physician came up with the story called The Vampire, which then led it to being Dracula later down the line. But at the same meeting, person called one second, a
Maybe
person called
Shelley.
Mary Shelley. Yes, I didn't want to
Yeah, correct.
mispronounce. Yes, person called Mary Shelley was present, and she presented the Frankenstein at the same thing. The vampires and Frankenstein began their life's journey at the same. Hey, I'm bored discussion between two friends. That's interesting to me. Again,
So good.
another interesting thing, like I said, Jack the Ripper news and the entire mood of London back in the day was captured in this books. There's another theory that he was based on Vlad the Impaler. This the way you guessed
Yes,
the
Vlad the
question.
Impaler.
So Vlad the Impaler was often misattributed that he drank human blood and all those other crazy stories about him. So that's one of the etymological roots, so to say, about Dracula. The most interesting thing for me, but is okay. I don't know how much big of a horror fan you are. Do you know about this cult classic called Nosferatu?
I have heard about it, but yeah, can you please tell me more? I've just
Cool.
heard about it, I
Cool,
guess.
cool, no problem. So even for our younger viewers or anyone who wants to get deeper into film history, sort of a thing, Nosferatu is one of the cult classic horror movies made by German producers, German actors, everything Germany. Okay, so again, the story is almost similar to the Dracula book story, which like the Count Dracula is hell bent on capturing the world one person at a time, stuff like that. In Nosferatu, it is Count Orlon. They don't copy the names or anything. They allude to the story. But the thing is, Bram Stoker had patented or trademarked the entire story, not just the name, the entire story of the Dracula synopsis or the Dracula universe, despite the fact that Nosferatu was made in Germany after Bram Stoker's death. His wife upheld the patent, sued the producers of Nosferatu. German court ruled for her. So they ruled against the movie, Nosferatu, and destroyed that all copies of the movie be destroyed. One copy survived and was smuggled into USA, which got shown into a film club, which then blew people's minds. And today it's as famous as Dracula, the Dracula movie, just because one copy
Wow.
survived. That's
Too much.
insane.
Wow. Crazy. What a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. That I think that
Too good.
covers my entire rabbit hole about this. Yeah. It's too many things we can
Super. Yeah.
deep down on Dracula.
Yeah, we can. And that's the thing, man. That's what I was like just thinking about. Like I mean, that's what at least quizzing has done to me. I don't know if it's for good or bad. That I have not read one single word from Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I know Bram Stoker's Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, Gothic, etc.
Yeah.
Waiting for Godot, that's the play by Samuel Beckett, where Godot never shows up. Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na was that last slate when
Yes.
the ending of the movie, he puts up that slate called Waiting for Godot or something. You just know this. I have not seen the play. I have not seen how Samuel Beckett looks like, but you just know. So this struck me when you asked me what led you to the answer and all. Some things you just know, like like for example, Google was known as Backrub or something, their first
Yeah.
algorithm. You just know it now. These are some shelves in the wardrobe of your brain that will probably never be empty.
I
That will
agree. I
always be
agree.
knowing about this.
It's a lot like doing detective work, right? You don't really need to know where it comes from, but you have some connections.
Yeah.
You pinpoint
Some
something. And you're like, oh,
connections.
it could be this.
Cool, but awesome question.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
again,
Thank you.
loved cracking it and loved hearing about the details. My second question is a quick fun game
Mhm.
on the stock exchange. So I'm going
Oh,
to give you
nice.
some. I'm going to. That's how I connected exchange. So the stock exchange, and I'm going to give you some famous company names, or not famous, but I'll tell you
Ticker
what they do,
symbols.
and you just need to guess the ticker symbols that they have, like 3 or 4 letter ticker symbol.
Cool.
For example, for viewers who don't know, ticker symbol is what appears on the stock exchange. Strip, and that's how the companies trade with that name. And for example, Ferrari's race. So it's like a very apt ticker symbol, right?
Correct.
So you associate Ferrari with race. So this is how these companies have their ticker symbol, and of course you will associate that with the name of the company or what field they are into. So here's your first one: Harley Davidson.
Mm. So is typically a ticker symbol three-lettered word or a four-lettered?
Three or four. Three
Three
or
or
four,
four, right?
generally.
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
yeah.
Is it bike? BKE or BIKE?
Very good guess. Very good guess. So this is also a slang for motorcycles back
Oh,
then. So if you're using a motorcycle or like a chopper like Harley is,
rod.
you would call it. Good guess, not rod, but three letters is correct, and you have one letter correct as well, the middle letter. So it's not rod.
We are playing, what is that game called? Weekly thing.
Yeah,
Wordly or
you're
something.
playing hangman or crossword. A wordly, wordle.
A wordle.
Okay, so this is also short for Harley Owners Group.
Hog. Okay. Interesting.
It's called hog, and hogs are also a slang term for motorbikes. So very apt by Harley
Interesting.
Davidson. Yes. Here's your next one.
Dynamic.
Dynamic Materials. Now this company makes explosive metals and explosion metal workings. So what could the four-lettered ticker symbol be?
Four-letter. I was thinking TNT. But
Ah, good.
dynamic
It's also like
materials.
onomatopoeic, if I can say, like
Mm,
an explosion. What would an explosion make you say?
Boom.
Yes, it is boom. B-double-O-M.
How is that
Why not?
connected to dynamic materials? Like I was
Because they make explosives. So
okay.
that way it's very apt. Yeah, they make explosives, so boom.
Interesting.
So
I thought it's usually from the name, like DM needs to feature.
no. It I mean again, like how Ferraris race, it just can be something that you are into,
Right.
the domain of work you're into.
Interesting. Okay. That's fun.
Very, very cool one. Yeah, good guess. Uh this one is called Cedar Fair. They own 5 amusement parks. So it's a three-lettered word, very jovial word.
Fun.
Fun, very nice. That's what they trade as fun. That's what amusement parks are for. Yeah, this is actually there's a fun round on the stock exchange. Nothing heavy here, but good TINs. Next one is probably my favorite, Olympic Steel. This is a four-lettered ticker symbol. This is a little like what do you say? Not direct, maybe a two-level connect,
Okay.
but fantastic ticker symbol. Okay, let me uh, put you in the right direction.
Uh-huh.
Don't think Olympics as the sport Olympics or Olympic. Think about Mount Olympus.
Okay. Yeah, I was not thinking
Because
Mount Olympus.
I would probably assume you were thinking about Olympics or sports or blah blah blah, running and
Oh,
track
what?
and field and
Did
all
they
that.
go towards the god of forgery? Like, what shit? I
God
should.
is correct. A Greek god.
Daedalus? Like, something related
No,
to
no, very
him?
famous one. Very, very famous. Whose domain was Mount Olympus, basically.
Oh, what? Zeus?
Yeah, correct. Yes. Very nice. This is Zeus. So Olympic trades as
Correct.
Zeus.
Wow.
Turtle Beach. Now this is a company. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, Turtle Beach. So this is a company that is into audio technology, and it has a competitor of Verizon, and basically it's into audio connections and instruments. So what could its four-letter ticker symbol be related to audio?
Is it Mike?
Good guess, not Mike.
So,
It's a verb, we can say.
Here, Hear.
Here, yeah,
Oh,
H-E-A-R. Here, that's how they trade as.
wow.
Next one is a very funny one. It's called Asian Tigers Fund. It may be defunct now. Some years back, this list was released, but yeah, what what very aggressive ticker symbol do they trade as?
Is it ATF?
Not ATF. Again, think
Aggressive.
onomatopoeia and think Asian
Roar.
tigers. Extrapolated. Roar is still English. Extrapolate it a little bit more, like onomatopoeia.
What? Like a Asian roar. What is an Asian roar? Uh,
like like the sound you will make when you roar. What is the sound you make when you roar?
I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, then ticker symbol is grr, GRR.
I cannot.
That's how they trade us. Yes. But you're doing well. I think you got a lot of them. Oh, this is a very straightforward one, but again, pretty apt. Gibraltar Industries, 4 letters.
Gibraltar Industries. Gibraltar is in Spain.
What is the one thing that you think about when you say Gibraltar?
Like the rock of. Oh, is it rock? It's a,
ROCK,
oh,
Rock. Well done. The Rock of Gibraltar. Very apt. And last one on the
nice.
list is Franklin Resources. So these are the Nasdaq ticker symbols. Well, the last one is Franklin Resources. So the ticker symbol is 3 lettered. And basically, if you say the ticker symbol and the name of the company, it kind of makes you think of a person's name.
Person's name.
Yeah, 3 letters.
Franklin Resources. Okay. Is it like
Which is the most
FRE?
famous? No, which is the most famous Franklin?
Most famous Franklin. Oh, is it JFK?
No,
No, he was also Franklin, right? The F is Franklin and JFK, if I'm not wrong.
not sure. John.
Yeah.
Could be, but not
Franklin
JFK.
Roosevelt?
No, good guess. Not him. Little bit before.
Frank Sinatra? I
Who's
don't know if it was
also
Franklin.
probably on the currency notes as well. Some of them.
Oh, Ben Franklin.
Yeah, this is Ben. So they trade as Ben Franklin. So
Oh my
Franklin
God.
Resources trades as Ben. So when you write the ticker symbol, you'll read it as Ben colon
Interesting.
Franklin Resources. So that's how they trade. So these are all the Nasdaq symbols.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my set uh on ticker symbols and exchange and a fun game within a game.
Poof. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the reason I smiled when you brought that up, hey, ticker symbols, because number one, you mentioned stock exchange while picking the word last time. Number two, I was also reading up on this, but I went down the currency route rather than
Okay.
like looking at the ticker symbols.
Correct.
Some fun rabbit holes even there, but yeah, I think this recording would overshoot if we go into that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
that
So
was
I
a
think
good round. Like this guessing them
Yes.
was too much fun.
Yes, I mean sometimes I always feel that we should have some heavy questions which will have all the trivia and all the detail, and some should be like fun like this. Like
I
just
agree.
just think about weird stuff people can do, and
Yeah,
of
this was
course there
definitely
is
weird.
trivia in it. Like for example, you need to know like Rock of Gibraltar, or you need to
Yeah.
know Ben Franklin,
Ben Franklin.
but
Yeah.
it's still very breezy that way.
Yeah,
Nothing
no,
too
it
heavy.
was great. Like it was in depth as well. And, okay, it's just on the top of my mind. So I'm just gonna ask you. Do you know which is the strongest and the weakest currency in the world today?
Okay.
Weakest should
I'm
be pretty
guessing
obvious. It's very.
Zimbabwe should be weakest.
It is one of the weakest. I know what you're saying. That was they had that $1 trillion note that they released.
Yeah.
Something. It's not Zimbabwe currently, which is surprise. It was a very recent news that just is happening.
Can you tell me the continent? Africa only.
Both of this is Middle East.
So the strongest should be the dirham? No.
Just guess the country. Like a lot of them trade in dirhams and dinars and stuff like that.
Qatar.
Close for the strongest one. Close.
Saudi?
Again, close. All of these are like interchangeable top 5, top 10 contenders.
Oman.
That's second.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Lock it, that region. They use the currency rial. R-I.
Oh, I should know, man. Gonna kick myself. Yeah, please tell me.
Oh, sorry. I meant the currency that they use is dinar, like you pointed out. Like we spoke about for the strongest one. The weakest one is the rial, R-I-A-L. So the strongest one is Kuwait.
Oh, Kuwait rial. Yeah. Kuwait.
Yeah, it's currently trading at 3.1 US dollars, which is quite strong. And although all of these things that you mentioned, Jordan, vagera, it's like 2.5, 2.1 US dollars, somewhere on that range. The most weakest one was in the news that it is recently at 0 USD, literally trading at 0.
Okay, Iran. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Irani riyal. It's very topical, so I just wanted to cover
nice.
Things.
Good cue. We can definitely put this up. Very good. Brain teaser.
Yes. Anyways, I'll move to my last question.
Wow, we're already at 1 hour 15, but doesn't seem like I'm very energetic and bubbly. And by the way, folks, if you're listening to this, I don't know when and where you're listening to. but it's 11:30 in the night on 18 Jan.
Oh my
So
God.
we are deep into the night.
Absolutely. Awesome. Like, glad to know that you are still energetic after those rabbit holes. But yes, let's move to my last question for you to attempt for today. Again, an image based question, and it's a little bit of a deep cut. So pay attention to what I am going to be explaining here. Okay. So this image is from one of my favorite shows called Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, or Full Metal Alchemist. It's an anime slash manga, and I read it as well. So it's a manga. I saw it as well. So it's an anime. So this is a jacket that they use in the show. So are you aware of this anime by any chance?
Again, I have heard of it, but never seen or read.
Cool, cool. No, no worries. I'll give you just a gist of it so that helps you understand this question better. So the crux of this story is basically paralleling World War II in very magical terms in their timeline. Like they have their whole Holocaust that's happening. They have the whole thing, and in between all of this, they have these magical people called alchemists, and they have taken the cue from real world science, where alchemy, in our olden terms, were people who wanted to research transformation of one thing into the other. So basically, they wanted to transform lead into gold, very famously. And there are very famous people like Nicholas Flamel was an alchemist. Even Isaac Newton at a time identified as an alchemist and stuff like that. So that's where the name Full Metal Alchemist comes from. Watch it. It's an amazing show. It's very layered, very deep cut. Why I took this particular screen gap from it is this is a jacket of the protagonist and it has this symbol. So like a cross, like the Christian cross here, and a snake wrapped around it. Okay. So this symbol is called a Flamel's cross. Okay, so this is a made-up symbol for this particular thing. Like this question is basically Dan Brown's book compressed into 3 images. So bear with me. But this is the Flamel's cross. What it signifies is transformation, transmutation, and the concept of equivalent exchange, which is a huge trope in this particular show. So that's where I took the cue from exchange to this. That's where it linked. So this symbol is the Flamel's cross. Like I said, it's made up of two real world symbols, one of which is this, and the other is this. Okay. So my question to you, simplifying it all a bit, is what, where, or what, how do I put it? Where would you have seen these symbols before? These two, like this one and this one.
Okay, my first guess was, first of all, again, a very nicely framed question. Like great connection and backstory. My mind goes to like the the medical symbol, the medicine symbol, uh,
Okay.
that has this there's two snakes like tangling into each other.
Okay. So which one is the
Hippocratic
medical
symbol is
symbol?
it called? I don't know.
Yeah, you're close. But my
Hmm.
question to you is which one is the medical symbol?
The bottom one, because I've seen
This
those
one?
at the back of the cars in India at least, where
Okay.
people are from the medical association.
Okay. So
Is my guess.
the guess is actually correct. So it is the symbol of the doctors. But what you
Ah,
just said is exactly the wrong thing that is propagating in the world currently. So this it's amazing how everyone
okay,
notices that this is the symbol of the doctors, but it's actually supposed
correct.
to be and correctly this. Like if you see the World Health Organization's logos, like the medical team of that, they will have this. The NHS will have this symbol. But a lot of people often confuse this symbol as the medical symbols. This thing. So basically, this is the story I wanted to talk about based on this question. That's why it led me to connecting to this thing. So first of all,
Wow.
great answer. It's just like a deep cut story that I had in mind. So I cobbled together a question based on that. And to my surprise, it really fit into this whole structure. So yeah, great answer.
Nice and good segue from exchange to this, like how people offer interchange and exchange to symbols. But nice. I would love to read more on this. And in fact, you can tell more
Yes,
that you have in the answer
yes,
slide.
yes,
Let's hear that.
absolutely. Absolutely. So that is coming up next. That why is this particular thing misattributed. So just a backstory on this. So this is called the Cicadus or Cadus. It's the symbol of the Roman god Mercury, who is the god of commerce, communication, and stuff like that, and also the god of thieves and liars. So it is so ironic
Oh,
that this
okay.
is misattributed as the medical symbol. This is called the rod of Asclepius. Asclepius was the Roman god of medicine. And the reason behind this symbol not being the medical symbol, or not very much known in the public mind, is because of US military's medical forces. Back in the day, in 1900s specifically, the medical corps of the US Army were redesigning their entire um, uniform, so to say. And they originally had the staff of Asclepius as the symbol. And then there's this general that goes and be like, but these two snakes which are in symmetry are much more aesthetic to look at. So let's replace this symbol as this one. And that's what they did on their uniforms. And then during whatever 1900s war, the US Army spread globally, and a lot of people got eyeballs to that particular mistake, so to say. And that's how the Cicadus of Hermes became a common memory for people, that this is the symbol of doctors, but actually it needs to be the staff of Asclepius. Right. Now,
Wow.
one fascinating thing about the staff of Asclepius is, of course, number one, it is held by the god of Asclepius, which is whose symbols is Greek god of healing and medicine. Why there is a snake on that is because snakes were looked upon as natural healers, because they shed their skin and they can regenerate their cells in their body and just turn into something fascinating. There was this old practice where, if you had been poisoned, or if you were dehydrated or whatever, just losing your mind, you were kept in a room filled with poisonous snakes so that their fumes and their poisons would negate the poison in your body. Not sure how much that one was successful as a method,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah.
you'll
Yeah,
be
go on.
scared and probably, I mean, at least I would be
Yeah, I'll be like,
extremely
yeah, yeah,
scared
I'm
and
okay, I'm
I
okay,
would
I'm going
lose my
home
mind.
now. Yeah, okay. Do you know what the oath that the doctors take is called?
The hypocritical.
The Hippocratic Oath. Yes. So Hippocrates was the one who used this symbol very famously, because, according to text, Hippocratic was the direct descendant of Asclepius. So that is how the symbol and the oath get tied to the medical field also. So that was my entire rant and segue into
Nice.
this thing.
Basically, we've been completely wrong in associating that symbol with medicine. My
Yeah,
God, someone should tell people and those people who put that logo on the cars that you're
absolutely.
putting the wrong logo.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is, the World Health Organization's like armed forces logo and stuff, if you see, they have the right symbols in place. The NHS has the right symbol in place, which is the British medical division. Just the US divisions and the US healthcare entirely have the wrong symbol in place because of one general who is like, nah, sorry, this is more aesthetic. We'll look at this. Strange.
Man, what a great fact. And I don't know. Sometimes as we have discussed it in the past, the reality is more bizarre than fiction. It's something like
Big
that.
time. Big time. Whew. Yeah,
Cool.
but that was
Nice. I
my
think your
exchange
set
set.
was fantastic. Amazing, amazing set. Again, I
Thank
can
you.
assure you there's no overlap. And we have six distinct questions, but six very interesting questions for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you again a know it or you don't know it kind of a question, but I'm going to give you clues while you're working at it, and then I'll go into the rabbit hole, right? So here's your question three. This person on the left is Steve Hodge, a former English midfielder. He is holding what? And I have blanked out something that he's holding. Uh, I want you to like take a shot and then see where you're landing, and then I'll give you clues and kind of shift you towards the right direction. That's how I
Okay.
want you to approach this. So, what is your first top of the mind guess? What he might be holding?
Okay. So top of my mind
Given he's an
is
English midfielder.
yeah. Just based on that, the top of my mind is it the first ever exchanged football jersey, which, if I'm not wrong, was the French team that they played against and they swapped the jerseys
You
with each
are
other.
so close. The thinking is absolutely spot on, bang on. This is a jersey exchange question for sure. That's how it connects to exchange. But it is not the first one. Because yeah, like you said, that happened between France and I think England, or
I
France
think
is the
it's
mother
England.
country. Uh, is it? But it is not that. This is of course
Okay.
much later than that.
Hmm.
But he's holding something very precious. Now think on those lines, that given the fact that he's an English midfielder and this is a jersey swap, what would he be holding?
Is it Pele's jersey?
It's not Pele's jersey.
Which other iconic English jersey from back in the day? Maradona's jersey?
And you're there. Well done. Perfect. This is Diego
Nice.
Maradona's number 10 shirt, which he wore during the Hand of God goal that match.
Oh,
So
nice.
remember that was between England and
Right. Yes.
Argentina. So yes, so this is Mr. Steve Hodge, who also, by the way, uh, kind of was involved in that goal itself, hand of God goal, when he was involved in the setup of that goal somehow. So, he was there on that field that day. He was involved in the goal. And at
Nice.
the end of the game, he asked Maradona, "Can I have your jersey?" Maradona said yes. And he had the most prized possession. Now I'm going to go into the rabbit hole for this. And it's
Okay.
crazy
Interesting
what
question.
I read about. Yeah, jersey exchange. And
Yeah.
what a
Again,
famous
funny.
jersey to back.
Funny thing is that even I went into just like a stock exchange question. I also read a few things about hey jersey exchanges, but I went back to the first one, so that's how I
Yeah.
connected. Like, oh, it might be
Oh.
that. That's a tradition. But yeah, please continue. Tell me more.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Jersey Exchange. This is Steve Osh, who also played for like he's had a very good career, I must say. Like he played for Nottingham Forest, Villa, Spurs, a lot of English teams, Watford, and all. And of course, for England, he had many appearances and was of course a part of the 1986 England World Cup squad. That's something. So in the 86 World Cup, as we discussed, he also was involved in the setup for that hand of God goal that Maradona infamously bagged. And after the game, he and Maradona exchanged their T-shirts, swapped their jerseys. So he bagged the number 10 shirt of Maradona. Later, it was kept in the National Football Museum that's in Manchester, and it was there for many decades. But then it was sold in around 2022, and it got sold for £7 million. So this guy bagged seven million
Insane.
pounds from that prized possession. And the last thing, which is kind of the cherry on top, the autobiography of Mr. Steve Hodge, which he wrote in 2010, is called "The Man with Maradona's T-shirt." That's his autobiography name. That's what he became famous for. Imagine playing,
Insane.
like coming through the ranks in Nottingham, playing for Forest, playing for Villa, representing your country in the biggest stage, that is the Football World Cup, playing against Argentina. You get known for this one thing, that you have bagged the most prized position of them all. That is Maradona's number 10
My
T-shirt.
God.
And you write the autobiography. He could have written my career, football, me at Forest, anything. No, his biggest achievement that tops it all is the man with Maradona T-shirt. That's his autobiography.
Just goes to show you
Crazy.
how big Maradona was.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Insane.
mean, truly, truly. And yeah, I was shocked to read about this. And of course, there have been many jersey swaps. Like you said, Pele has done with Bobby Moore,
Bobby
famously of
Moore.
England. Zizou has done it with Figo, Henry with Scholes. So this is like become a tradition. But yeah, the most famous one is probably this that no one's going to top, because I mean, imagine if you're Mr. Steve Hodge, you're getting Maradona's T-shirt, but what is Maradona getting? He's not getting Bobby Moore's T-shirt. He's getting
I think after
yeah.
that goal
So
and
that
after
really,
that win, Maradona really didn't care.
yeah, he's like take it and go. But yeah, what a good story and good end to this set.
Amazing.
That
Absolutely. Wow.
yeah, something that I
Super.
did not know about till I read about it.
Absolutely. I also think there's some player who got Messi's 1000th game jersey recently for Argentina. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's going to fetch a lot of value going down. I think this might have a similar cascading effect like with Maradona itself.
true, true. These jersey swaps and later these jerseys themselves become like a proper prize position, like a memorabilia. a collectible. So people pay good top dollar for them. So
Absolutely.
good for Mr. Steve.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
Good for
folks.
Mr.
That
Steve.
was
Like he's getting remembered in this podcast, which two hosts from India all those years later.
yeah.
I
In the
mean,
middle of the night, they're discussing
the
about
middle of
his
the night.
exchange.
I think biggest achievement for him.
True. Agreed. All right, but perfect. Thanks, Anurag. This was a very memorable 10th
Absolutely.
episode and lovely exchange we had. Loved attempting, loved setting, loved reading through it as always. And thank you,
Same
folks,
here.
for joining in. It's been a great 10 episode right till now. Many more to go. Hope you share, like, subscribe, hype us, and obviously get to learn more. Do join us, like Anurag said. Please feel free to comment. Feel free to put topics that you want us to discuss. You can come on the pod one day and discuss it with us. Why not? Let's do that. And yeah, let's explore more ways. But till then, thank you so much. This is David.
And this is Anurag.
So signing off from Rabbittholes. Stay curious.
Stay curious. Absolutely. And it just struck my mind. 10th episode ending with a number 10 jersey question. So neat blow. What a neat blow.
Yes, that's yeah. Fitting. Absolutely written in the stars
Absolutely.
only.
Hey, see, we do all of this for you, all these Easter eggs. So comment down below what more you saw. We've hidden so many details here and there. Get it, guess it, comment. And
Yep.
like Devin said, stay curious because we aim to fill your lives with so many more facts and stories and just read up so much more interesting stuff that life has to offer to us. And yeah, I
Yep,
guess
absolutely.
that leaves us with just one thing to do for this episode is selecting the word for next time, which we'll again deep dive into massive stories. So should I pull up
Let's
the
do that.
trusty
Yep.
generator?
Yes, let's go with our fellow comrade, random word generator, who's been with us since day one.
Absolutely. He's been I don't know who owns this, but thank you so much. You've been a part of our journey for all this while. And if you want to reach out to
Yeah.
us, please, we'd love to talk with you more. But yes, let
Yeah,
us
if and
generate
when-
6. Yeah, sorry. Go
When we become big and popular and earn a lot of money out of this, we are going to give some royalty to random word generator. That's for sure.
You heard it here first. All right. Generating 6
Cool.
words for this time is interesting.
Man. Can't
What do you think?
Probably can't do anything. Maybe triangle? I don't know.
Yes,
How
even
do you
I was
think about
locking
triangle?
in on triangle here. None of the other words
Let's
really.
None of the others for sure. But triangle, yeah, I mean, good array of thoughts, like initial topics that come to mind. Of course, though, there are some very obvious ones, and I'm sure we
Yeah.
both will probably avoid it. Or
Absolutely.
we will do something that is not covered generally. But
that could be
okay, I think the
interesting.
shape, things that come in threes or in that
Mhm.
shape of the triangle, I think kar sakte hain. Let's take a shot.
Cool. So why don't we do this? We can select triangle from this set and like last few episodes, let's generate 6 more words and see if we get something
Yeah.
to compete with triangle. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we get something more juicier.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Colon, we already did. Christopher Colon. Cristobal Colon. That's Spanish for Christopher Columbus. Oh, okay.
Right. Any word
Cute.
here? Large
Everything
and
looks
cute
very
are very
generic.
subjective.
Yeah. Yeah. Large, cute are subjective and very generic. Champagne is very specific.
Very
unless
specific.
it's from unless the question is from the Champagne region of France.
Yeah.
It's going to be sparkling trivia.
It's sparkling question. Yeah, it's not champagne
Yeah.
question.
So
I guess let's just
I'm
stick with
cool with
triangle.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah,
awesome.
let's stick with triangle.
Amazing. So the word for next time, guys, is triangle. Like in the 3
Triangle.
questions, make sure to notice some triangles that we craft for you
Yes.
next time. Till then, like Devin always says, stay curious and thank you for joining us on this wild ride today.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See ya.